the next item that we've got on this item is basically about isolation in the modern age, about people basically feeling kind of very, very lonely in current times.
That was sort of what my song was sort of alluding to.
Wasn't it? Cherry Moon.
If you listen to it back.
A little bit of Cherry Moon.
Cherry Ghost.
What was it?
Cherry Moon.
Cherry Moon was like one of the fucking that label that it's the DJ EDP was on. What was the name of that label? Bonsai Records. Great label.
What I mean, like, you obviously know the tune well, but were there any kind of lines or lyrics that you remember from that song that kind of like that pick, you know, like kind of like explain isolation?
I'm not gonna start saying lyrics to songs. You should
want to sing them for me?
No, because it just reminds us of this time when a teacher had to like we were at school and we had to do an assembly, and everyone in the class just said, we're not fucking doing it, you can do it. So he did it, the teacher, because he was dead soft. He was dead canny, actually, and I sort of feel bad about certain things.
Can I just stop you? Was it the teacher who ultimately had a heart attack due to the bullying of the children?
I don't know. Who was that?
I don't know.
What's the first letter? What's the second letter?
Mr.
M.O.
Oh, God.
Is that what happened to him?
Fucking hell. Here's a little bit of context, ladies and gentlemen.
Did that happen?
It fucking did. I actually got...
God, I feel
exactly.
terrible.
So there you go. Continue with your dark fucking conversation.
I wasn't really that bad. But anyway,
isolation.
He had to do an assembly, and he just read out Beatles lyrics, and it was just, it was horrible. It was so awkward.
And then he felt really awkward and had a heart attack.
So I'm not.
It was roughly 6 months after Mickey C here forced him to do an assembly. And ultimately ruined his life.
What little left of it was.
Yeah. Oh, God.
He's gone to a better place. This is shit.
He's not dead. He didn't.
Oh, is he not? Oh,
well,
come on.
He didn't. I left school years ago, but like, he might be now. Fucking hell.
Well,
he's lying in a grave calling out the names.
That's the reason I don't see it.
He was. Exactly like that.
Anyway, isolation. I know it's a really sore subject.
So I'm not going to talk about song. I'm not going to repeat song lyrics. But what I will say, I find that in the modern age, people are very isolated in terms of the whole family. This is dead heavy, isn't it? This is the heaviest
it's
podcast.
Harry will play a record soon. It'll be fucking sound.
Get on the Saviles Corner. No, I find people are really isolated, you know, because it's not like it was. People are sort of living very separate lives to what they used to. There was a lot more community back, even if you go back like,
in the good old days.
Aye, but it was, wasn't it? I mean, there was obviously horrendous things that went on in the good old days.
Non-sing.
This still goes on now. But there was a far greater community spirit, wasn't there?
Well, no doubt. Well, in my opinion,
back in the days of smallpox and diphtheria,
when I had rickets as a young man, everybody used to rally round and bring me bones.
Oh, I remember when we had Hitler. He was lovely, wasn't he?
Oh, who do you think you're kidding?
Bring back the moustache.
Oh, bring back dripping and lard all over my chips.
Such great
but
nutrition.
Nowadays, people are living very separately, aren't they? It's not like it used to be. It's not like you get married.
Do you know what it is?
It's a dichotomy. Your family is like very sort of separated, isn't it?
Oh no! Can I just come in? For me, it's a dichotomy. If you don't know what that word means, Google it. I can't be bothered to define it. I do, however, know what it means. I assure you. But you've got like what you have you have like this hyperconnectivity with like Facebook and Twitter and all this, where everybody's talking to each other alone. In the house, and I date myself sometimes, to be fucking fair. I do have quite a decent like home life, and I have lots of family and friends. A partner who I love very much, and a lovely little dog who sits at my feet. But however, sometimes when you like sort of, you know, I hang out the back of the fucking internet. I love it.
Hang out the back of Gadgets, I thought.
Gadgets all the time.
Hanging out the back of your maw.
Your maw. I'm going to hang out the back of your maw. Sorry about that.
Rewind.
Let's bring it on to Scottish independence. I hang out the back of your maw. But no, that's what I'm saying. That's a dichotomy. Yeah, it's like people are so hyper connected. They're talking to each other all the fucking time, interacting more to the point, not really talking. But like that face to face sort of like interaction. That like what they do say within psychology. I think I might get the percentages wrong. Correct us if I'm wrong. Somewhere between 70% and 80% of interaction is like body language, looking at each other and like just picking up that sort of like vibe off each other, like love, hate, or anywhere in between. And the rest of those percentages are verbal communication, that kind of caper. But then you take it down to like fucking Facebook, where it's just like sort of like words. And like as I mentioned earlier, a lot of people like have got me wrong before, where like I'll post something and you're reading that through your own lens in your mind. Whereas I've meant it from my motivations and what pain is suffering. Now fuck off. But what's charged behind those words for me means something different to other people, and that's something that I've learned, and I thank people for teaching me about that, because for me it's just about me like being taught by all of the people out there,
There's an etiquette in writing words, isn't it? And you don't always get the same ways that you would be if you were saying something, so people everything's open to interpretation, and there's lots of times where you pissed me off online, and I know that there's times where I've done exactly the same to you.
We've argued online, terribly.
And then you realise actually it's like but
we have the context of having like a 20-year friendship, which has ultimately been based in like love for each other, and we're shared interests and we're common goals.
Whereas
like if I totally own and acknowledge the fact that a lot of people have pissed off online, it's like an online sort of like, who the fuck are you thing, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, who are you fucking talking to, you know what I mean? And I'm sure, and I know for a fucking fact, that goes both ways. And I'd like to put an open apology to all those people, you know what I mean? Like, up to points, like, there's 2 or 3 of them I would love to knock you out, but that's like a different fucking scenario.
But we look forward to the time when they're allowed to call this fucking cunt out as well and come on this phone. It's coming when we go live.
I actually had this thought though, like what you were saying there about the internet, sort of connectivity thing.
Aye.
Now, sorry, I keep moving away from the mic.
His mic skills are terrible, but he's getting there. He says some gold sometimes, like an idiot savant.
Move away from the mic.
What was I saying? The internet connectivity thing, and I was thinking along the lines of like, in the future, like the next level of connectivity is probably going to be computers sort of built into your cell phone. Aye. That's got to be the next level, hasn't it?
Posthumanism, is that what it's called?
There's a whole transhumanist movement, which is a bit dark. But what could come, because there's always a dark and light to everything, isn't there? And I was thinking, like, imagine, like, if this whole... obviously you can be connected to anybody through the computer now. If that computer's within inside you and you can connect to people on some sort of level from within inside your brain, like, you're not tapping keys on the screen, it's actually some sort of conscious thing, then would that actually raise consciousness into some sort of like massive...
I believe so, and I've heard it argued successfully that the internet is part of the hive mind. And it's like, if you look at even the last 2 years, and again, I may be corrected, but what I was told was that within the last 2 years, there's more information being shared between humans because of what you speak of than there has been in the whole entire previous human history since recorded time. And that's pretty fucking awesome, ladies and gentlemen, you know what I mean? I mean, that is amazing stuff. I mean, what could that lead to if we started like sort of targeting these amazing things that we have in our hands every day towards like love and truth and justice, and we all started collectively organising together to like actually target some like amazing goals, and we could virtually change the world within a day.
Could go the other way though.
The isolation thing though, I think from a slightly different perspective is, as somebody who has felt like kind of isolated in the last few years, and like sort of thing is that and the internet is part of it, is that as you get older, and if you don't like you don't live with somebody, you don't like have a partner, and you don't have other people in your lives who you see
this
like,
lives
in your house.
Sorry, mate, I'll crack on.
Yeah, fuck off.
I apologise.
And I think there's lots of people out there, who they don't see other people. It might not necessarily be you're living with somebody in as a kind of a sexual partner. You might just not actually have anybody you live in the house with, and you come back from.
He's definitely still shagging people. Like I've got to.
And if you come from like working away and working all day and stuff, you get back in the house, and especially as you get older, you just kind of can't be bothered to necessarily go out and socialise. So the form of social interaction you have is the internet. You speak to people, and in doing so, you're connected to 1,000 people who are like saying, "Oh, I like this" or whatever by clicking a button. But in reality, you're fucking like actually interacting with fucking no one. You're not really allowing yourself to kind of really express how you feel, let off steam, kind of talk to people. Telephone conversations and stuff like that. I don't know. As the older I get less inclined to want to ring somebody and have like a lengthier banter on the phone. Some people really, really enjoy that. I find it just doesn't come natural to me. I used to love nattering on the telephone. I just doesn't as I get older. So I end up like sitting on my own, and it's not necessarily that that's unpleasant. I do it, but if you are feeling perchance to wank, but as I'm not interacting with people and stuff like that, and I get older and stuff like that, and I do find that if I am feeling down, it is going to fucking exemplify that feeling. Now I'm lucky enough to have a feeling enough to be a person where I've got enough balance in my life to kind of think, oh well, if I'm feeling down for a bit of time, it's going to be all right. I did fucking go a bit dicey about a year ago, but by and large, I've got some way to come back from. But a lot of people don't, and people don't have that balance, and they get isolated. And sometimes we've seen it. We've got friends who will be unremained, who've even got to a point where they're really expressing themselves online, that they're really in horrible situations. I haven't had anything horrific happen to me. I know people online on Facebook who've had horrible things happen to them in the last 2 years, and they're putting that stuff out there, and they're like going desperately clutching at straws, going, "This is happening. This is happening to me, people. This is fucking happening. Give a fuck about it, And it's really hard to then like lynch onto somebody, like go online and say, I do really care about it. I really do it. I know that Mike's done some stuff out on there, and I know he has a lot of interaction in terms of kind of the private messages that he deals with,
and all of that. Yeah.
But I think there's just so much of it going on, and I think obviously as times are getting tougher in terms of the attacks by the kind of government and austerity, things are getting really, really fucking bleak, and people don't know what to turn to, and the way of expressing that just online isn't enough. It doesn't come with a hug. It doesn't come with a cuddle. It doesn't come with fucking somebody really doing it. It comes with people just like going, oh well, I'll chip in this fucking tuppence worth, and that's sometimes not enough.
I just want to cut in on that, and I just want to absolutely honour Don for what he's just said, because that's like raw and brutally honest and like from the heart, and good on him for fucking saying it, because like for me, what he did mention about the fact like I do speak to a lot of people like in the inbox, like, and it's a two-way process, because sometimes I need to be like sort of like I mentioned last week about Gaza and all that. Sometimes I need like a virtual sort of fucking hug and all that, but sometimes like like I do talk to people who are going through some fucking bullshit, and it's just like sort of like the type of stuff that we do. But I represent and honour this man for like fucking actually being the voice of those people. Well, I do. Just on a really I just really wanted to get that across. I thought like that was a really heartfelt and honest fucking thing to say, and like that's not easy for I'm like a man to fucking say, and like not disparaging anybody else, but like. It's
not for anyone to say.
But at the same fucking time, he's doing it with a microphone in front of him on a fucking podcast. So fucking good for you, mate. I'll give you a hug afterwards and all that. And we'll have a little fucking
give us a reach around.
You know what I mean? We'll have the two-can touch afterwards. It'll be fucking group time. You know what I mean?
Stroke his leg now. No, but like what I was going to say. Right, what I was going to say, I done what you said was like totally like how that's a similar position to what I'm in my life, where like you're totally right. Everything you said was like totally bang on, where you are sort of slightly isolated and you cannot be asked to really like change it, you know what I mean? You're just sort of here and you're like, can't be asked to ring anyone. I got online. This is a bunch of, what the fuck? You just get bullshitted with that, and
I did that as well. I've had times like that too. I want to be in the gang.
But I think it's like a funny thing, because like as a lot of people I think are probably like that, and I feel sort of privileged because I've got a couple of like close mates who I talk to a lot about like, if I'm feeling down or if I'm feeling... I don't think everybody's got people who they can really fucking express themselves to.
That's a really good point to make.
You know what I mean? I would say Mike Cow, he's one of the people, and like another one of me. Well, no, but it's true though, and it's like people who I feel like I can say anything to, no matter what I'm thinking. Like there's no sort of like thing where you hold back, where you think, I'm just gonna fucking annoy him, I'm just gonna bore him, I'm gonna bring the vibe down, I'm gonna do this.
Never gonna be that ever with any of us in this room, really, is
exactly,
it? Well, lucky
totally that's what I'm saying. It's like I feel like I'm lucky in that sense that I have got genuine people who get us as a person.
It's like the suicide net. like what you're hearing here for us personally is like the suicide net. No, but it fucking is. There's times in my life where I've wanted to top myself. I'll just be fucking brutally honest. I have. For reasons I've fucking discussed on the page. I'm not going to go like that deep into it because this section does have a finite amount of time, ladies and gentlemen. As much as it's like raw to the heart and all of that, we do have a running order. But at the same time, I love these people. Do you know what I mean? Like, like I'm sitting here amongst friends.
I love you, man.
I love you, man. I love you. And Danny without the mic. But we
Danny
do.
Without, I love you, Danny without the mic.
I think by choosing this thing that we've been requested to do, we just wanted to get that across to people that, like, no matter how bad you feel, there's always people out there. You can always like fucking inbox me if you want. I can forward you on to like some fucking people who will be able to listen to you. Do not ever feel alone because it's never has to be that desperate. We've lost good friends through like really fucking through suicide, and like that for me personally. After that, I had a fucking horrifying time. These lads did too. However, I know there's a load of people out there who've been through the one and this fucking same thing, through the same issues, and it makes you feel the same way. But, as we keep saying, this is about a community, and we'll all pull together, whether we've met or not. Just fucking get in touch if you fucking really feel you need to. Inboxes, and we'll fucking sort you out with some organisations that can help. So do not ever fucking feel alone. Sat behind your computer. Do not do it.
I didn't inbox me though.
I want to.
Got any time for you.
He's got any crack for you. I've got to deal with this shit. I
also want to say the absolute value in finding and doing something creative and how much better it makes you feel, and also doing creative things with other people that you know or you don't. I've been lucky enough to be in a play, my very first play I've been in this year, and that was a time a down.
What play were you in?
I was in Macbeth. I was in Macbeth, and
Who are you? Don't say that. Say the Scottish play.
Anyway, and aside from that, also the very gesture of what we're doing now is like Mike Cow's attempt also to kind of like get some of his friends, us that we don't necessarily see each other very often, as a way of like us coming together and doing something that allows us to chat, have a banter, but also get a chance to kind of see each other on a regular. Do something on the regular. Find a point in the week where you can connect, even with those friends that you've lost touch with, or connect with people that you don't know. Go out there, join a dance club, become a member of a theatre group, go out and do some painting, go out with something. It doesn't have to involve drink and drugs. It can be just something, and that for me is what spirituality and connectivity is all about. It's about doing something communally, and that's the thing that we're lacking in modern day society. I'd like to move on now and put on with my tune this week. What we're about to listen to, keeping on the tip of One Love, which is a message often by Mike Cow, and that is this tune, which is by Maestro, and the track is called The Root of Cancer, which sounds horrible, but it is a beautiful song and a positive message that love is the answer.
About positivity,
and
love,
not hatred.
Peace, justice.
Yeah. DJ Thor
is the only answer. Hate is the root of cancer.
Some of you lot ain't understanding that, man. It's about time to let it loose and let you know. You know what I mean?
Is the only answer.
It's all about the love.
Hate is the root of cancer.
Yeah. Diggy, look, yo, gone tomorrow, but I'm here today, face to face with those who show love in the weirdest way. Take the food out your fridge, but won't share the plate. Only listening to things they don't want to hear you say. Notice it's the ones who've really never been around you that chat to others like they know everything about you. When the shit hits the fans, when they doubt you, but when the hits hit the fans, they surround you. How cruel thinking you and them were now cool, when thoughts on your success just a week ago were doubtful. Those who claim hunger with a mouthful are now wolves in sheep's clothing without wool. Rotten scoundrels who don't know of love at all and stoop so low it's got them thinking they're above it all. Well, fuck them all then with something rugged until they're done and dusted. Yeah, they once were trusted, but if
is the only answer.
I mean,
hate is the root of cancer.
A lot of you lot ain't understanding that, man, so it's time to let it be known. You know what I mean?
Is the only answer. Hate is the root of cancer.
And that cancer keeps spreading, man. I don't want it near me though. Listen, yo, Leave me alone, at peace on my own. And please rid me of those that leave me to moan. For the tree isn't grown, but they still try and chop it down. Through their struggling to live real life on honest ground. Lost my way, but it feels like I've got it now. Needed a reply for these real cries, but not a sound. What a clown, onward bound, though it's all good. Now I understand when we met things were awkward. Talk as if they have your back, but it's the ones far from the sharpest knife in the drawer who take a stab at that. What type of habits that? Dragging by the anorak and making disappear, no magic act. Quick to watch, still you miss a lot. Now it shows how we both been chiseled off from a different block. Fade away like a summer tan and embrace the lowest form of upper hand till you understand.
Love is the only answer. Hate is the root of cancer.
You know what I mean? Love creates life. Hate kills people. Understand that.
Love is the only answer. Hate is the root of cancer.
But some of you lot are blinded by that, man. I'm trying to help you see. I'm trying to help you see this, man. Listen, those who don't even know it when they show it blindly follow the road of the lowest of the lowest. Something you only notice once you focus on the culprits, the ones off track but still rolling with a locomotive. Beware the bogus, many even claiming fam. Give them a chance to see they never really gave a damn. Those who say nothing even though they chat the most and don't know they need an antidote for their cancer growth. In the kitchen baking up cookies full of lies. I wouldn't even try to look you in your eye. Here's a slice of the pudding from the wise. You shouldn't need to hide from the hateful onlookers in disguise. And on that note I said nothing but love. May you remain with all the dirty swept under the rug. I no longer need to hear lies. Cheers guys, maybe we'll speak again if you ever realise.
Love is the only answer. Hate is the root of cancer.
I hope you lot can understand that, man. It's therapy for some of you.
Love is the only answer. Hate is the root of cancer.
You know what I mean? We can all live as one, man. It's up to you. It's all up to you, mother lover.
I can feel it in my bones. These clones and clowns, they really down. Something won't jump, but won't look my way.
Rappers don't lie, and most fight.
Backstabbers with double-leg blades, tools and the fact is that they're a bunch of backstabbing actors.
Smile on my face, behind my back and talk trash. I hope you know I build up hate.
Just man, you'll never be as nice as I am. Rapping about that negative shit.
Listen, positive over negative, 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 negative.
That was Maestro, and that was the track Routine Cancer, which comes from the Maestro Maestrogen album. Maestro, my current favourite rapper at the moment. This album came from 2012. I have to be honest, I've only just been putting on this guy. Respect to Zico MC. Thanks very much for putting us onto this guy, also known as Mice Diggy.
And once again, respect to Zico and Abby for producing another Young Children's for the fucking positive energies and that.
Totally. I just love this guy. He's just a really guy who follows in the tradition of good storytelling. He's a great storytelling. There's so many different lovely tracks on this album. I can't recommend this album enough. Get it out there. But yeah, I just thought keeping in touch with the idea of one love, that was an important shoot about love versus hate.
Right, I think we're just going to lighten the mood with a bit of Saviles Corner now.
Bring it.
I mean, where do you start? The jacket, the vest, the specs?
What the fuck is it? It's had a remix.
Shiny
Had a
gold
remix.
tracksuit, talking to a girl in an extremely unpleasant manner.
Jimmy Savile,
Beautiful.
Jimmy Savile,
Take a ride on the donkey.
Jimmy Savile,
Beautiful.
Jimmy Savile.
Allegations,
Rape.
revelations,
Rape.
investigations,
Rape.
organisations,
Rape allegations against Jimmy
Jimmy Savile,
Beautiful.
Jimmy Savile,
Regarded as a paedophile.
Jimmy Savile,
beautiful.
Jimmy Savile.
Regarded as a paedophile.
When he crossed the line, you think,
Fucking
wow, terrible. When's the next one?
So anyway, welcome to Saviles Corner. I had an idea for a game we could play with Saviles Corner.
Oh, well then.
Well, Danny was supposed to get the music for Jim Will Fix It. And the idea, you could actually sing Jim Will Fix It now if you want to, like.
Jim will fix it for you, and you, and you, and
Jim will stick it up, you will.
So Jim's going to fix it from hell, like, for you to pick a couple of people who you would want to be nonces.
Fucking hell.
In the hope of what? In the
Can
hope that they would be
we put it-
outcast and
Okay, well-
just for the law, I'd like to just put like a huge umbrella of allegedly over this next
No,
section.
this isn't. No, it's not. It's like it's not an allegedly.
It's
You
alright,
don't
it's
need
just
an
fun.
allegedly for this.
Just a bit of fun.
Because
You do.
No, you don't.
Do
No,
you
it's
know
like-
anything about the law?
no.
It's just like fantasy paedophiles.
Fantasy paedophile,
pedophiles. Allegedly.
Jim's fixing it from hell for you to have like someone that you
From
hate.
his concrete tomb on a
Aye.
45-degree angle in Scarborough looking out to sea, because that's not mental.
Aye. So mine would be like obviously Cliff Richard. I hate Cliff Richard, so he's already.
I hate that
fucking-
cunt.
So that's my example. So I'm throwing it out to you.
I went
too,
to a
as
wedding at the
who-
weekend. The amount of Cliff Richard jokes that were told, even in the
paedophiles at this wedding. Fucking hell, make you
Nonsense at
blush.
this wedding. You wouldn't even believe it.
The amount of Cliff Richard jokes. I was like in the wedding, and there was like loads of kids about, and the amount of times it was like, well, we were going to play a Cliff Richard record now, but didn't think it was very advisable. We were going to invite him to play here, and it was just like, I swear down, the amount of times he was mentioned, it was unbelievable.
So the idea was for you two to come up with like a couple of people in sort of, I wouldn't say like politicians, because like they probably all are anyway by the
Aye.
sounds of it. So if you pick like a couple of people who you would like, if they turned out to be a nonce, you'd be like, fucking come on.
What, in the hope that they would then get sentenced and get sent down?
Oh yeah, they're not,
to be honest, I
nonces
did-
getting away with it. They're like nonces who you.
Well, I have to be honest, I know it's not something I should be shouting proud about, but I was really glad when Max Clifford was found out
Oh,
to be a
fucking
Yeah.
too right.
Aye,
The fucking
aye.
prince of cuntness.
I mean, I fucking hate that guy so much,
What
man.
a twat.
He is basically the kind of backhand man of the Illuminati. He's not like kind of like the main sort of guy, but the guy who kind of is behind the guy, you know, and just fucking...
The
I hate...
reptiles,
I
little
just
fucking
hope that
cockboy.
guy's being fucking like beaten the fuck out of and
I
stabbed
hope
in
he's
a
had his
jail
front
somewhere.
teeth knocked out. He's turning into the blowjob queen in the nonce way.
You got any others then for Jimmy Savile?
Rupert Murdoch would be definitely up there. Silent
Allegedly.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, I'll
Maggie
honour and
baby?
represent Rupert Murdoch. I hope he fucking just lives a very long life and doesn't try and
Have
do
you
an
got any
expose.
sort of like just like daft ones who you just someone you
Alan
just don't
Shearer?
like? You would like Alan Shearer
just
to
for
be
the
a
crack,
nonce?
you know what I mean?
Oh, that would be good.
Sorry, Alan. I know you're an avid listener to the podcast.
That would
Son of a sheep metal worker, Alan Shearer.
Mr. Sheep Metal Workers Nonce from Boswell.
that would kill Tyneside though. It's that kind of hero.
Exactly. Kill everything.
That would be it.
Like suddenly,
everything you
anytime
thought
you ever
you
play
knew is
Middlesbrough
wrong.
again in the future, they would just go, Alan, and they would just like the rip in
Seriously,
here.
Alan Shearer. Fucking
Just for
hell.
the crack. I mean, he put us on the spot. Like, I'll have to say, Mickey didn't like fucking tee you up before going, you know, when we do the podcast, we
wanted
pick
to-
some of these things, we'll try and make it funny.
wanted
And
to
that.
be
He just went,
spontaneous.
by the way, we're going to change Saviles Corner this week. And then Danny went, here's a new fucking theme tune. Cheers for that. Like, me and Don sitting here going, what the fuck is this, like, fucking Saviles Corner?
Well,
fucking...
Danny was supposed to get the music that Jim will fix it for that bit, but fuck.
It's all organised chaos, ladies and gentlemen.
So, and have you got any others? Like, I would have how you set Blatter in there, to be honest. Like, I fucking hate that cunt.
Well, I mean, I would take Sepp Blatter, but he's just going to fucking die soon anyway, so fuck that.
Have you got any other items on
Saviles Corner?
Anything
Yeah,
based on
actually,
fact?
yeah.
I actually do have one to do. This is football related because I was allowed to, so I'll say the last away derby I went to before I like flung me season ticket on the pitch at St James like a fucking dark ninja star and stormed out via firebombing a Sports Direct outlet in the city centre. Didn't do that. I mean, check the Chronicle. Was Kieran Richardson. I was down. It was when he played for the Sunderland. I hope he's a nonce, the cunt. He fucking ruined me day. He fucking ruined me day. Allegedly, I hope he's a nonce, obviously. But he put this one of the best free kicks you've ever seen at the back of the net.
Oh,
and what that
goodbye.
then resulted in was loads of three-eyed fucking shit cunts from fucking Pennywell, where we're in the away end, and they had just under 2,000 tickets. That's how much of a proper fucking ultra points and all that I had it back in the day, you cunt. But fucking, I was in the ground, and there was at least 40,000 of them, and that's the only time they get that amount. Sorry, son and people, you're all nice and that. But on that day, fuck you.
Blue pop, cheesy chips.
I fucking son in a massive club, Kate 80. Everybody came round, led by Steve Cram and We Are Side Jack of fucking.
Hello, my name is Jack.
And we're stood there, and then there was fucking like chairs, like plastic chairs being winged into our end. There was an old gadget in front of me, he got a coin sharpened off his head, and there was blood pissing down. There was like a fucking gadget we were there with. One of my brother's mates, his fucking 7-year-old son was there, and like it got that bad because we thought they were going to break into our end. They were like, I was like, right, hide your son behind her, and then we'll just stand there and we'll just have to kick them back down the end. And it was because of fucking Kieran, potential nonce Richardson. So fuck you, Kieran Richardson. You fucking might be rich, but you're a shit footballer apart from that one free kick. Fuck you, you alleged nonce twat.
Not only will like people often criticise the idea of that you shouldn't like laugh about paedophiles, which obviously people on a regular basis do, but also to even get to the stage where not only do you laugh at paedophiles, but you want other people to be paedophiles because you dislike them. I just like to kind of turn the point to the other side of that is about the fact that victims and people are fucking on the horrible atrocities that is paedophilia. They have to suffer an endurance of lives that will never ever be restored. And I hate to get all dark on you, but I don't know if you've just seen out there's a report that's just come out about what's going on in Rotherham.
I'm going to get dark as well.
1997 and 2013, they found out that over like 1,400 cases of sexual exploitation have happened, with kids as much as 11 were raped, possibly set on fire. We're forced to watch like kind of rapes and massive like atrocities. And the big thing that's happened around it is that basically there wasn't enough.
On the piss for 3 days. I fucking missed all this.
Enough investigation hasn't gone into place of it, and the council officials, the social services, and people who are in positions of like care, responsibility, and whatever haven't done enough to basically investigate it. The head of the council has basically just upright, just cap in hand, and has just basically said, "Yeah, I'm totally wrong." He basically commissioned like an independent report to go ahead, and as a process of his misgivings in terms of like not doing anything about it, he's now like basically stood down from the council as well. There's a lot of heads going to fall. I mean, this has just come out now, but it's going to be there's going to be a whole host of stuff like that.
More than not just doing anything about it, though. I think it's like actual, like institutional involvement to some people.
Well, whilst I agree with you that there's obviously big issues about that, and I understand we've talked about like Elm Street last week, the kind of childcare home in London. Elm Guest House. Sorry,
Elm Street's very good.
Yeah, you only rape people in their dreams.
Jimmy Savile.
but this anyway. I mean, I don't know enough.
If you had a bastard chimera of Simon Weston and Jimmy Savile, that's Freddy Krueger. Okay. Continue.
I don't know enough about this situation for us to make those kind of accusations, but I understand and appreciate that obviously kind of widespread institutional paedophile rings are a big question that has definitely been brought up in the last period in terms of politicians and their involvement in all of this. Anyway, Mickey.
Yeah, it's I mean, I've been quite interested in this for quite a long time, and it's really interesting to me that it is all coming out now, partially in the mainstream, but with the internet being what it is,
it's because a lot of the internet.
But the internet.
The reason
is
we're having this conversation now is because that thread on the David Icke forum, triangles, lizards, etc. But it's fucking true. But like, it's not necessarily about Icke being all like, "Ooh, the lizards" and that. It was just like people crowdsourcing information, and that thread has made the papers do it.
I remember reading about reading some Icke books and that, and he's obviously talked about it a lot, and then you think, fucking hell, is that real? And then that was a long time ago.
Do you remember making me buy Children of the Matrix for my birthday? Fucking, and I had that haunted 2 days where I couldn't put a doon, didn't sleep. That's why I'm sat here, basically, because Mickey made us buy Children of the Matrix with his book token.
I was walking through Glastonbury, this is in 2004, right? And I was walking through an extremely muddy Glastonbury where it just rained and rained, and walked down a field, and there was nothing in the field at all, just like like, you know, that kind of spine road that connects everything to all the parts of the festival. And there was just this one stall, no other stalls around, just this one stall, and basically it was a shrine of information about paedophile rings and about the politicians' involvement in it, and about this is something that you should be thinking about it. And it was, I mean, it was making some outlandish claims and kind of linking kind of Aleister Crowley and Crowley and like Satanism and stuff like that. But it was also like sort of stating about specific politicians and they're kind of like just basically like either A, turning a blind eye, or B, actually colluding in the sort of sharing of children and importing, exporting them in like slavery and stuff like that. And these are the kind of things that are now being discussed in the kind of mainstream domain for the first time. And that was actually something called the fucking paedophile information exchange.
Well, this is what I was
Liberty, the charity, before it was called Liberty, which is proven too.
I'll tell you what's
let's say allegedly, just for the crowd. I'm a bit drunk. I've had a 3-day bender.
That goes. That goes quite nicely in a horrendous way into what I was actually going to talk about, which was.
Oh God,
Jeffrey. Do you know that Jeffrey Dickinson? Was it Jeffrey Dickinson? Is that the MP from the 80s?
The old Tory MP, the big ex-boxer gadgy.
He'd been in foster care apparently. And he was really championing like all these kids who'd been abused, you know. And
was his dossier? It was the Dickinson dossier?
Well, that's it. But there wasn't just one dossier. There was more than one dossier. There was a dossier related to North Wales. I think there was a dossier related to the Elm Guest House and I think the Kincora one. So there wasn't just one dossier that they've fucking misplaced. There's fucking 3. And basically, there's footage on YouTube of him talking where he's actually talking, this is back like 1982, 1983, where he's talking about satanic paedophile rings. Not just,
I've not seen this, like, can you post a link and I'll send it on?
Definitely. And it's like, this is fucking serious shit. It's not like just, I'm saying just, you know, kids getting non-stop, like 14-year-old rent boys and all that. This goes way fucking deeper than that. And this is what he was talking about back then. And he was talking about satanic paedophile rings where ritualistic abuse occurs, where babies are getting sacrificed.
An elected member of parliament for the Tory party. And I think it's really...
Yeah, but like just babies getting sacrificed. Then the people actually realise that this shit went on and is still going on. Because he was talking about this in the fucking 80s, and if you watch the clip, it's quite interesting, you know, about what he says about the whole thing. And I've seen like obviously the Jimmy Savile ritualistic abuse thing sort of has been touched on in some papers, whereby it's been touched on in some papers in terms of what's the was it Broadmoor?
Broadmoor. You had like keys for Broadmoor and
keys for Broadmoor, and apparently he was conducting rituals down in the bowels of Broadmoor, and there's actual survivors who've came out and said this. You know what I mean?
There's a fair amount have done that, where they've said they've been in satanic rituals, and then all of a sudden the main sort of person, the priest or whoever you want to call it, puts the cowl, the hood, off his head, and lo and behold, it's Jimmy Savile. And they reckon that they've done that because it's like sort of
pedophiles.
The way they work within the occult is like it's all on opposites and extremes. So you've got this like dark fucking like oratory from some fucking high priest, and then they flip it off, and there's good old fucking Jimmy Savile, and it like spins their head out so much before they get shagged. It's meant to bring out the like sort of like the energy within them and the feed off that energy. Triangles.
It's dark as fuck. Like it really goes deep. This, and like, I know part of one of the Jeffrey Dickens dossiers is to do with that, what you mentioned before, the PI, which is the Paedophile Information Exchange, where he's named certain people like in power who should be investigated. And I believe that, what's his face, Leon Britton, he's one of them.
Allegedly.
Well, there's fucking supposedly huge evidence.
I'm just going to give you a little allegedly there. Just keep it right. Allegedly.
No, stick it in if you want.
I'm sticking it in. There's another allegedly for you.
I mean, this is like going into like snuff videos and that, you know.
Allegedly.
No, snuff videos aren't allegedly. That's like an actual.
Just we're not linking it Leon Britton.
Anyway, I'm not saying Leon Britton. I'm not saying Leon Britton has been involved in snuff videos. That is allegedly. But what I'm saying is that snuff videos have been recovered, which is basically kids being murdered
And I do believe
what I
Chris
mean?
Fay talked about that very thing.
Yeah, and it's like, it's so fucking dark, you know, and I know we fucking made a bit light of it with the sort of whole Saviles Corner thing, but it is fucking sick.
That's super
fuck,
dark.
You know?
And we've actually researched it this week, you can probably tell.
This is the
No,
one...
we normally do,
well,
but you know.
this is the one thing that I think, out of anything, that if it all did actually come out, that it could bring down the government more than
should.
anything else.
If
you
people
know,
had the fucking cojones to get behind it, because we've just put ourselves right out on a fucking limb. So, like, you know, please share this shit.
Any war, any fucking, you know what I mean, like, whatever they're doing corporate-wise, you know, lobbying and all that shit, this is the fucking thing that could completely bring the... Because everyone, well, they don't, that's the thing. Everyone
Well, they
can
say
sort
they're doing,
of
but what are you fucking
empathise.
going to do about it?
Everyone
Because we're
can-
fucking doing something. What are you doing?
Well, anyone can empathise with that, you know.
I've said this
Everyone.
many times, I just want to fucking say it. People are like, oh, fucking, they'll go on Facebook and like, oh, fucking hang the nonsense and all that. But you know what it is? When it comes to actually posting this kind of shit on Facebook, I see a marked drop-off from people who are now you're probably lurking on it, but you don't share it or you don't like it and all of that kind of shit. And I want to put a challenge out to the people who like, and you know who you are because we've talked about it in the inbox. Why don't you do it? What exactly is more important in your life than children being non-stop and murdered? What exactly is it? Have a think about that and get back to us.
I think
Please do.
there's a difference, as there's about, like, in the days, all studies and all research has shown that the large percentage of paedophilia happens within the family or within people who the young person is known to them. Sometimes
As far as we know.
and sometimes, let me finish, and sometimes there's also, this is because they're in institutions, so there's also a secondary issue, which is about institutional paedophilia, where people who are left in positions of trust abuse that and then also abuse the people that they have been entrusted to. And I think with them kind of things, that's where we're now in a period where there's long been a silence about this, and now that's kind of coming out. And that's not just on, like, you know, governmental level, but it's also within sort of the civic institutions within society, care homes, within social services, within schools. All of them stories are becoming now much more like reported on than they have been in the past.
Totally.
Now the question is now we're talking about something where it is open for debate and question marks. I would definitely raise question marks about some of the things that you've said, Mickey, about the idea that it's something beyond that, which is about kind of almost like doing something not just because you're having a sexual attraction to somebody who was a minor, but actually that you want to perform a ritualistic act, which to me sounds often about, like, you know, power and about things which are like about belief systems of which children play a part of all of these things. And they're things that are really hard to uncover, especially when you have so many other forces that below those people that they can use and have used in order to kind of silence that. You know, i.e. if a higher level politician has done something and has got caught about it, they probably have the ability to kind of make sure that police officers at a very high level can censor information or make sure that those officers that below them don't investigate certain issues of it, because the police force isn't one homogenized institution. It's actually an organisation that within it has lots and lots of splits and fragments and different departments which are only allowed to investigate certain issues up to a certain point within a remit
Which
of
is
like
why
wider
you
area.
get, like, officers being taken off these cases.
Exactly. So I think nowadays what we're having in an era where it's now become very, very culturally unacceptable to be kind of allow things like this to go on, that we are having police officers who probably do really strive more to try and kind of uncover these things within enforcers, but also social service, social workers, care home workers, people who just think that this has to be questioned. And obviously we've got an information age which allows these issues to be kind of uncovered and debated upon or whatever. But unfortunately, bureaucracy time and time again will get in the way of like the slow burning, where the people really at the heart of power, I'll be very surprised as to how much they'll feel the backlash of it. And the fact that we're now only dealing with cases that were going on in the 1970s and 80s, whereas what do we know, if anything, is this kind of thing still happening in the present day, you know?
That's the thing. It's like this is what the whole, for me anyway, the whole Jimmy Savile thing, since that's come about, that to me, it's such a massive thing. I don't know if people realise how big it is, that since Jimmy Savile has been outed, it's like anything goes now in terms of if you said to someone 3 years ago, I think fucking such and such is a nonce, some high level politician, some high level celebrity. If I think he's a nonce, I think he's a nonce. It's just like, fuck off, you're an idiot. You know what I mean? Now, since the Jimmy Savile thing's come out, totally mainstream, all of it's come out. I don't think all of it's come out because I think he's fucking been murdering kids and all sorts. But
allegedly.
they've alluded to it. That's what I think.
Bollocks.
That's what I
Probably
think.
Has.
You know, and it's been alluded to. You know, and I think now like people are starting to realise like it's like fucking hell. What do you actually know about these people who are fucking running the country? You don't know anything about them. We know fuck all about them, where they come from, their upbringing, who they are, and this is the point. They've got a different set of values to what we've got, in my personal belief, and they've been brought up into a culture which is totally alien to the average thinking person in this country, and this could all come out, and this is what's fucking. It could be amazing.
It's what
really,
we're trying to do.
because
yeah,
there's a lot of
we're
good
trying
things.
to just like make a contribution.
We're just chatting on and we're sort of talking about the things that we think about, you know. But who knows where this is going to go in the future, because there's that many victims now who are starting to feel like they can actually come out and
please do, please do,
come out
and know,
speak.
Like from what we're trying to do,
you know?
and others, there's much more like us that you do have the support of this nation. You know, do not fucking feel that you are in isolation, and it goes back to what we're saying in the previous segment. It goes for you too. Whatever it happens to be for you, you have our backing. You do. You know, there's people, if you do that, we will get there and we will back you. You know what I mean? So if you've got something to say, if you've got something to like speak out about, then speak out and rise up. And that goes for people who haven't went through this. You sharing this on social media is a powerful thing. You like making sure we don't get death in our beds by lizard death squads, because we're right on the fucking edge of that triangle shit now. You sharing that just enables this shit to come out. We've got the tools, we've got the motivation, we've got the means. Fucking let's do it, man. Come on, fucking do it.
Fuck the nonsense. Anyway,
not fuck the nonsense, probably stab the nonsense, but the same thing.
Put the nonsense in a separate room to the rest of it.
Fuck the celebrity.
Check the penis.
Fuck the celebrity
penis.
Fuck the celebrity politician pedos. Anyway, moving on to something a bit more light-hearted. It's time for Desert Island Crisps.
Hooray!
Okay, that's a bit.
This is part of the show where we basically allow yourself to be on a desert island. You will be there for the rest of your life. However, you have been savoured by the fact that you have 5 unlimited supplies of any flavour of crisp, past or present. Mickey C is up on the today, and what would happen if you stuck on a desert island? What would your 5 favourite crisps be?
This is probably going to be a little bit of a struggle for me because I'm not a crisp type of guy.
Crisp.
You had plenty to say when we were
I was chipping in with the ones.
You're a fantastic crisp ad-libber.
Yeah,
derailer.
I like riffing off crisps.
I've often risked off your crisp breath, though. I think the last time that you had scampi and lemon, I was definitely riffing off you.
Well, I'll tell you,
that just smells like the underpants that he leaves on his fucking bedroom floor for 2 weeks.
At a number 5, it's a boring one. Walker's ready salted out. I know. I know, but I do like them.
Are you the Ken
The
Barlow
Alan Partridge of crisps.
I'd like to think not.
I'd just like to say Ken Barlow was fully exonerated. Welcome back to the fold, Ken.
When I was in Scotland in the day, and it was like all these kind of historic photographs of, you know, sort of famous Scotsmen who had lived round and helped build this community that I was living in, that we were staying in, and one of them just looked unbelievably like fucking Ken Barlow. It was like, bloody hell, he was kind of up to no good. Even back then.
I just like to say, to reiterate again, Ken Barlow was fully exonerated. Welcome back to Coronation Street, Ken.
Ken Barlow is a mythical character.
He's not mythical. He's
number 4 anyway. Number 4.
Number 4, I don't know. Fucking no.
Oh, Deirdre.
Pickled onion monster munch.
You did.
He's the man of choice. He's the man of choice.
He's a rememberer.
That's a crisp that I used to like.
Yeah. How many bits of food can you have now that you can think of? You know, because obviously your diet changes across the course of your life. What you like, what you dislike. Mm-hmm. You know, your the things that you like when you were a kid you hate now, and things that you hate now and you love now. Yeah, exactly.
I love olives now.
But how many things can you think of that you've liked and eaten all the way through your life. And to be honest, pickled onion, Space Raiders would be definitely one of those things that I loved when I was 5 years old.
Most popular,
and I love now. The only thing I don't like with them now is the 20 pence or 30 pence price tag that comes with them.
That's a price point I don't like.
5p all the way. You know?
5p all the way.
Gotta be. Should have been, could have been, would have been.
Number 3.
I'll tell you what I do. Like, I don't know if it counts though. I think it should.
All right, it depends. I'll tell you. I'll be the judge of that. I'll be the judge of that.
If I go at the pictures, I like a fucking pot of nachos with chili and fucking cheese. Is that a crisp? It is a crisp. Like, I'm fucking having it.
I would say nachos are.
You're skirting the fucking.
It's a crisp. It's fucking crisp. Like,
no.
If an alien came down to Earth and you had a selection of crisps out there and you just hide some nachos in, they wouldn't be perturbed. Like, they would just be like, how
dare you speak to immigrants again on the podcast?
You're almost talking about like as if you're a Cockney and they sort of hear somebody from Big Brother, the guy who presents Big Brother, and goes, oh, he's a Geordie, because all accents from them, they all just sound the same. When we go, this week in the Big Brother house, fucking Mackin bastard, you know. But we would know. We would notice the difference. There are difference. No, anyway, the thing about nachos, the thing I was going to say to you is, Mickey, would it still be the same if the cheese wasn't with the nachos?
Yeah,
like if it was just the nachos on its own, would you be proud to say that would be your choice number 4? Because to be fair, on this desert island, you're not necessarily going to have the melted cheese or the chili. You're just going to have.
Oh, but what's this under the palm tree?
Ooh, what a hullabaloo!
It's a pot of chili and cheese, especially for me.
But just in case, would you have them? I mean, there are obviously some things out there like, you know, Doritos, which are a kind of
not
brand.
Keen on Doritos.
No.
Like,
would it be like maybe a Phileas Fogg kind of sort of?
I used to like them,
Phileas Fogg nachos. Or would it be like
Phileas Fogg nachos? I could eat.
What's the other one? The other one, like the posh bourgeois crisps that do kettle chips or whatever.
Kettle chips. I like them.
They've done nachos for years. Would you do one of them ones?
Got a reasonable dip. Would
I do one?
Would you do one? Would
I stick my penis within a Tyrell crisp?
Probably
on a desert island.
Within Tyree and
certainly fucking would.
That's it. Because on the desert island, you ain't got no hole. You got to make use of your natural resources to pleasure yourself on a daily basis. Yeah, so nachos, yes, no.
Yeah, well, not. I do agree with the blandness of the nacho without the chili and cheese at the pictures nachos, but the Phileas Fogg ones, they were edible.
I think that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking
edible
for brands. So we're talking about. So number 3 is Phileas Fogg. Number 2.
Fucking hell. Help us out.
Was that the first one?
I should have really researched crisps.
Scraping your barrel.
I'm really scraping it.
Scraping the barrel? Not any Seabrooks or McCoys or Walkers or any other corn snacks that you like?
I like this. I used to love them Scampi fries.
Scampi fries.
Full of MSG though.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, they're not very good for you, are they?
No.
Thing is,
I did like
people
them.
moan on about MSG, but boy, does it make things taste.
That's true. It's like cancer in a bag, but never mind.
Do you know in Australia you actually get MSG like in a plate? So like when you go things, they're not allowed to have MSG in products. If you go to a Chinese,
like a dip.
No, because it's salt, isn't it? It's just sodium. So basically, when you go there, you actually get it separate on the counter, so you can add the MSG you want if you want yourself.
It was provided by the Illuminati to subjugate everybody.
No, that's chlorine.
Get yourself the bath.
You naming the brands of crisps was helping me.
Brannigans.
Remember the name.
What about things like
what you call it? Help us out.
Didn't ask me. I think you're dying in your arse. Chris, I'm going to like.
You've only got one left. You've only got one.
Yeah, no.
Cheesy puffs.
Oh, I know what it is.
What's it?
I like a bowl. You ever found like I'm a crisp aficionado, as you know. Like in my latter years, I often found. Do you not find if you have crisps out of a bowl, they taste much nicer than if you have them out of a bag?
Yeah, they are quite nice. I also find as well as although I'd have the number 5,
like a fine wine.
No, you're right, aye.
You pick your number 5 crisps or whatever, you know, and I probably wouldn't put Wotsits on my top 5.
I could eat a ton of Wotsits and not even nod at them.
But the question is, and
tasty,
and I ask you this
puffy
question,
cheese.
and I ask you this question,
dancing all on the taste buds, like puffy.
I asked you this question, Michael. You know, you've already picked yours. I've yet to pick my 5 top crisps, whatever. But Wotsits wouldn't feature in there. But can you imagine a life without cheesy puffs?
Dancing all on my ring piece, like puffies.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. What's happening in the world of football? Come on.
All right.
I'm just going to leave the room.
Got me a usual piss, you heavy cunt. It's the proper time, everything else doesn't mean a thing. It's football time, fucking get in the bog, you cunt. It's football. Hey yo, it's football. Act like you know. We love football, we love going to football. You may not, but I still love the fucking football, you cunts.
Pass the football.
Pass fucking footballs. Alright, football time. We're back in the football. I'm going to switch it around this week. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the Fantasy Football League first, because I think it was hurried along by that hippie twat a little bit much last week. So what we will do is here. I tell you fucking what it is, right? I tell you what it is. BMFC Stewie Ranson. What a flyer you've got this start of this season.
What's the top points?
Top points. He's got 127. He got 56 this game, beating like 70 odd last week.
50.
56. 127, which is it's 9 ahead of second, which is Algorithmics. Alan Gatenby, who's crept up the fucking backstairs. Where were you last week, you cunt? Alan Gatenby. There's a nice line in caps by his profile picture, I've noticed. But moving on to the actual, Georg Philipp Fertig, once again, our German techno friend. Third, very solid. Still in third, very good.
League.
What do you know about English football? Here's a bit of xenophobia for you, Gil.
Probably more than us, because they're all bloody foreigners.
Well, he definitely knows more than us, because I'm in fifth. What I did think on Saturday was like Mickey C here was
struggling.
He was struggling, but he's pulled it back, to be fair to him, because Sven Adult Books, which is Mickey C, up Chester you don't eat, which is a canny enough name. He doesn't like uppercase letters at the start, apparently, but he's seventh. He's on 108 points, and he's only 3 behind me. What I would like to say with this fucking creepy cunt, it's like fucking every fantasy football league may have been in, apart from the first year, where it's like, I did cheat in the first couple of weeks, so I'm not playing. I'm not playing. I've took my ball home. I'm not going to bother. Whereas last year he did, and the year before he kind of did, and he did Aries. But last year he did very well, as I've already represented for him. Whereas this year he's after 2 game weeks, he's just 2 behind me, because the rest of years, there's 50 in here, but really on the podcast it's like who finishes highest between me and Michael. And I'd like to put like a challenge down to Michael as I look him straight in the eye on the podcast. 20 quid. That I fucking finish higher than you at the end of the season.
Well, you can fuck right off with that, because you still was a tenner from last season, which you've never paid.
No, I didn't, because
yes, you did.
No, I'll tell you. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because if you fucking remember, I bought your fucking glass globe for fucking for Napoli's, like on the end of your fucking for the e-cigarette for the fucking gibbon sticks, and you fucking. I said to you, I says, well, look, I'll just write that off, and then that just am I right?
I can't remember.
Yeah, you can remember.
No, it's making sense.
No, it's making sense, because it's fucking true.
Did you? Did
I just wrote that off.
Did you? Did I not pay?
No, I bought you a glass globe, so
well,
you could have some.
I'm just taking your word for it, because my memory's that bad that I don't even know.
And
I remember you getting us a glass globe.
Exactly, and I'm not a renowned liar. It was like I said, we'll just write that off. Anyway, that's like personal fucking politics.
You're a renowned embellisher.
Right, so you're going to take the fucking thing, £20 bet?
Not 20 snots, because I'm in that many leagues now that if I fucking lose, I'm losing everything.
15 quid.
Just a tenner.
Right, we'll call it a tenner. Sportsman's bet. I bet you finish higher than this season.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Sign, sealed, and deal.
Handshake. So, Fantasy Football League. Right, we're going to move into the next section. Keep out of me, hippie. I want at least 5 minutes on this. Right, the reason why I'm absolutely hanging out my fucking arse this
You're
week...
getting loud again, by the way.
I'm passionate again. It's football time, you know what I mean? It's football time. Saturday, what a nightmare for the Heat that was. We lost 6-1 against Grimsby, who've become like the derby, even though we're not like very close to them after last season. Jesus Christ, we lost 6-1. What a nightmare. It could have been, no word of a lie, if ever there was a team that shouldn't have lost 6-1, it was the Heat. They just couldn't have hit a cow's arse with a fucking banjo in front of goal. It could have been 6-6 or 7-6 if they'd put any other chance away. Anyway, fast forward to yesterday. I went out to Altrincham with a few of the lads, got the coach down. We scrapped out a 1-0 win down there, which puts us 5th on 10 points. Really proud of them that they did that. They came out with us at the end, in the away end, which was on a fucking terrace, which I haven't been on for a long time. Knee seats and out like that. There was a portaloo, which was and there was a hut that served Bovril, and it just reminded us back in the day once again. Non-league's fantastic. So again, if you want to come, this weekend, Saturday, Chester at home, 3 o'clock. Once again, a proper football time. Get yourself at the Stade de Gateshead, Gates International Stadium. Support the Heat. Still on the up. Bit of a blip last Saturday. Fuck that though. Still ahead of Grimsby. Fuck off. So that's all about football for me this week. Do you want to talk about Premier League Wonga United? Are you alright?
Can I have one mention of the Champions League? I just think the whole Champions League thing is a fucking joke, because I was just thinking, I don't know about you, but I don't even watch a Champions League game until it gets till fucking Christmas time or after Christmas.
Waste of time,
because it's just all these, it's not the champions. You've got 5 teams from each league competing, and it's just bullshit. It's just been watered down to this level. None of the, and it's not like any of the smaller ones ever get through to the latter stages. Really, it's always the top teams who get through, because it just filters out through the league format that it's in. It's just
all
total
money just to generate games.
What they should do, I think, is just go back to the champions, maybe 1 and 2,
go back
maximum,
to the European Cup days,
and then have the UEFA Cup for everyone else. Because it's just even, when the two were in the UEFA Cup, it was fucking, we didn't play a decent team to the quarterfinals.
That's Pardew for you. It's really the fucking shit.
What do you mean?
Cunt.
I don't think he invented the UEFA Cup.
Well, he didn't invent the UEFA Cup, but he certainly invented being the manager and picking the first 11. You silly twat.
What are you talking about?
Well, you were just saying, I didn't invent the UEFA Cup. Didn't defend the cunt.
I'm not defending him. I'm talking about the format of the UEFA Cup.
Am I allowing my utter hatred for Alan Pardew to manifest on our friendship once again?
Just to seep into anything.
Absolutely every aspect and fibre of the fucking
I just don't understand where your Alan Pardew comment came from. It was some sort of Tourette's.
I just hate him, and if you happen to be the avatar for this hatred, then so be it.
Gentlemen, waffling on about this most boring of subject. Have you seen this week about fucking about Gaza, man? That's just so fucking sad, man.
It really is, mate.
Just the photographs out of it, man. It's just it's horrible. Addiction is a horrible thing, and it's just obviously, it's just so sad to see this guy's just fucking slow demise, really, and
it is fucking,
it's
especially someone who was such a hero to most people of our generation.
From lads from Gateshead, such as ourselves. Let's not triangulate the lizards, not say exactly where for, but it's not too far away from where that gentleman was born and used to kick about in certain green spaces. Absolutely devastated. We may or may not be aware of somebody's family and all of that carry on. And for me personally, he was a hero of mine. I remember I was at the Bobby Charlton Soccer School again at the Stade de Gateshead. It was though. I was 9.
Crowbar
the Stade in, and I played against him on the same team as Glenn Roeder. I was 9 and he just broken into the Newcastle United first team.
This is another one of your football dreams that never actually happened in real life.
That has actually happened. I can show you the proof. I was in the Bobby Charlton Soccer School, and I played against him, and he was just lovely with me, which you could tell. It was you know yourself. I've said before, the way I assessed somebody, which is ironic for this kind of carry on, but it's could I have a pint with them? Not now, obviously, but he's just the love and the absolutely fucking really great kid. And I all know he's fucked up in his life. That's what fucking drink can do. He's he's beating a woman and all that, absolutely reprehensible act. But he's showing contrition for it. But the lad's got a disease. Do you know what I mean? And the disease is alcoholism, and it's just fucking horrendous. And it breaks my fucking heart to see these photos, because it was on the same day I'd went to visit my mum and dad, and I was watching the local news, and they'd said, he's just signed for a Sunday League club, and he seems to be doing well and all that. And like 2 hours later, I saw them photographs that I'm sure a lot of you have seen last week, where he just looks horrendous. And it's just like, I mean, obviously you're not going to be listening, Gaza, but Jesus fucking Christ, the universe, I call down upon you, like, help this man. Do you know what I mean? Help this man, because if we lost this man, it would be a fucking travesty. And I swear to God, if we have to do a podcast on the fucking day, I'll just be in fits of tears.
Who else is going to deal with any fucking serial killers on the loose, or any kind of madmen who decide to shoot at coppers or whatever? We need someone like that.
We need your back, son. Bring your chicken breasts, bring your cans LCL, drink them.
Okay. We're getting into the kind of very last section of the show. We are going on a little bit too much, but one thing I just wanted to mention that we haven't fitted in was just about some hot gossip that we've got on there. Finding out about it. Obviously, people know about fracking. Fracking is a kind of way of extracting basically kind of shale gas.
And ply.
Frack your man.
You know, basically, it's something that people don't want. It's going out and basically getting gas, natural gas from deep within kind of rocks, whatever. It's very, very dangerous. Absolutely destroys the landscape. And this government, under pressure from the big businesses, like in America, have decided to kind of back fracking and have allowed, like, you know, untouched areas, including Northumberland, where we've got famous beach, which is Druridge Bay, which is kind of like just been kind of given the go ahead for them to kind of extract natural gas from there. And there's a big deal. And the thing is, it's largely slept on, and a lot of the kind of like from understand, there's a lot of the activists out there who are challenging it. The movement is absolutely kind of infiltrated to bits. There's a lot of MI5, well, you know, basically sort of secret agents within that movement who are kind of destroying it and kind of understanding what they've learned intelligence wise from kind of environmental activists, and basically kind of turning people up against each other. What is healthy to hear, though, that our very own Newcastle City Council is about to have a debate on it next Wednesday. The annual the monthly council debate will be had next Wednesday, where they'll have a vote on whether or not the council will vote against or for fracking. And gossip on the ground is, because of the Labour majority, is that the Labour Party is going to go and back against fracking altogether. How
dare you? You mean the Labour Party's going to like actually do something that benefits the people? Well, I sit in absolute joy.
Well, they would want to do that in a year of the election year, upcoming election year.
You mean it's for political reasons?
I don't know. But anyway, irrespective of it, it would make Newcastle the very first council in Britain to be against fracking, which does have kind of
tune.
Yeah, let's see what happens, and let's see if this materialises next time we speak.
Before you do move on, like, this is potentially us living in an era where the Palestinian flag flies proud over the Civic Centre, and we have been the first area to ban fracking. Labour Party, you know, I think you're a bunch of shit cunts generally, but Jesus Christ, if you do that, then bit by bit, little by little, we give them everything I've ever dreamed of.
Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about Mike Cow's departure next week. We're going to say basically going to be having a bit of a hiatus on the show. So this is podcast number 3. Will be the last for probably about a month, and
hence why it's a big one. And
we're going to basically give Mike over just explain again about what he's doing, just for those that don't know.
Well, I'm away on a 500-mile walk, not with the Proclaimers, and I'm going from Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port in Basque France to like over the Pyrenees and across to, well, it's to Santiago de Compostela, but you know, if I feel good, I'm going to do like the end of the world route, which is another couple of days walk along to Fistera. We'll see though, because like me back has went fucking tits since I've been on the piss those last few days, so we'll see what happens. What I'd like to do is I'd like basically just put an appeal out and have a look at English Nick's page, and he's kindly put some photos and some of his great photography to enhance the cause. Also,
what is the cause?
The cause is medical aid for Palestinians,
which is
well, it's exactly what it says on the tin. Where like all the money that all you good people out there have already raised by sharing it and getting it out there. has already bought medical supplies that have been sent out to Gaza. And I think it's like, I can't even remember how much it is, but it's an absolutely amazing amount considering like how skint we are on the two, and it just shows how much love there is out there for like our fellow man. And hopefully the theme of this podcast has been about love and humanity and fucking justice and truth. And
Pedos.
that's and what, sorry?
Pedos.
And pedos as well, but that's not part of love.
Another issue that's often coming up this show has been Palestine, something that obviously Mike is raising funds for, and just it's great to see that like some of the issues that we've mentioned before about boycotting have becoming really like continuing on in the mainstream. I don't know if you've seen out there, but in at the moment there's a big question amongst Jews who do not like or support what Israel is doing, and a number of Holocaust survivors have basically financed an advert that went inside the New York Times, which is a big, well-read newspaper, which was basically calling and saying that this is genocide, and as people who've been affected and who saw genocide firsthand, they can no way and support it. What is sickening to see is that actually some Israelis online on Facebook have like then come out and said, oh well, Hitler should have done you off, and to basically that they're committing genocide of Israel if they stand against it, which to me just sounds like it shows a period of paranoia, which I would say is like that last days of an empire where it feels
the last days of the Raj.
It feels threatened that it just comes out with the most outlandish
Roman
kind of
Empire was the
propaganda.
same.
So
Any
again, let's
empires
keep the heat up, keep on boycotting Israeli goods, and get involved and find out about the different kind of movements out there. So seek out about Jews for Palestine and justice and other campaigns, and Jewish people who are standing in solidarity with Palestinians.
And please do in the hiatus, please do put like a lot of what media people would call content out there. There's hours and hours of like us like trying to this is a call to arms, do you know what I mean? It's not about us sitting here necessarily talking shit and all that. It does have an underlying point to it, even when we're playing stupid Savile fucking things and all of that, you know what I mean? It is about trying to ask people to go and do whatever you feel you need to do personally. I'm about to go off on the trek. I've got my own personal reasons for it, but at the same time, built within that is just let's try and sort of reach out to people just like us, no matter what the colour of the skin, the colour of the creed, the personal background. If people are in pain, it could be in your own life, could be your next door neighbour. We're coming into the winter as well. Look out for older people especially. Give them a knock, check, see if they need a pint of milk, see if they need to out from the shop, all of that kind of caper. When we do come back in October, shit's going to be cold. It's not going to be for me though in September, because Spain's still kind of warm, so it's going to be cool for me. Enjoy fucking Britain, you cunts. Tory Britain 2.0. Brap!
Apologies to all the issues and stuff that we didn't get around to talking, because as you can hear, we get on, and once we're getting an issue, we can definitely fucking talk. So we will try and get that featured in future shows. Thank you very, very much for tuning in to the podcast. Please make sure that you spread number 1s, number 2 and number 3 around
it's
and
all
about
out there for you, man.
Please check out and go on the Facebook page, which is
MTC Podcast, facebook.com/MTC Podcast, or Mike Proud Mammy Cow, and you'll get all you want there at Mike Cow1 on Twitter.
And to finish off the show, we've got another Mickey C with his little bit of Profanosaurus.
And just after that, I'm going to leave you with a tune that I like to play, because I got 2 this time, because I'm fucking off on this track, you know what I mean?
Okay,
so
we haven't forgotten about that.
Please don't forget about it. I like the tune.
Cunt buster. An enormous erection. A diamond cutter. Olivia was powerless to resist. His eyes burned into hers like sapphires. His strong arms enfolded her softly yielding body as she felt herself being swept away in a whirlwind of passion. Then he dropped his trolleys, revealing a right cunt buster. From The Lady and the Gypsy by Barbara Cartland.
And on that fucking utter fucking Profanosaurus bombshell, fantastic effort there, Mickey. I'd just like to leave you with something which for me embodies the spirit of one love, and it's a tune that absolutely speaks for itself, and hopefully this podcast puts forward this spirit. And it's Tracy Chapman's talking about revolution. Catch you when we get back. All
Milk
the fucking
this cow
best.
the best way you know how.
Yes.
Don't you know
talking about a revolution. It sounds like a whisper. Don't you know? Talking about a revolution. It sounds like a whisper. While they're standing in the welfare lines, crying at the doorsteps of those armies of salvation, wasting time in the unemployment lines, sitting around waiting for a promotion. Don't you know? Talking about a revolution. It sounds whisper. Poor people gonna rise up, get their share. Poor people gonna rise up and take what's theirs. Don't you know you better run, 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 run. Oh, I said you better run, 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 run. 'Cause finally the tables are starting to turn. Talking about a revolution. Yes, finally the tables are starting to turn. Talking about a revolution. Oh no. Talking about a revolution. Oh, while they're standing in the welfare lines, crying at the doorsteps of those armies of salvation, wasting time in the unemployment lines, sitting around waiting for a promotion. Don't you know? Talking about a revolution. It sounds like a whisper. And finally the tables are starting to turn. Talking about a revolution. Yes, finally the tables are starting to turn. Talking about a revolution. Oh no. Talking about a revolution. Oh no. Talking about a revolution.